Well, Mike, if you don't get comedy, then you're really going to love this.
Philip
DeFranco. Philly DeFranco, which
Shilly D.
we all know he's you would call him an OG.
A fraud, a shill, a piece of shit,
Whatever words you need to use.
a shyster, a grifter, a dickhead,
An OG.
a douchebag.
So all those things are true. And when we need to spread the word about the coronavirus, Dr. Fauci has been going around and talking to people. And
Making the propaganda rounds.
right. And I think he went on Philip's Red Rocket. Is that what it's called?
I guess. Red Rocket.
Isn't that like when you jerk off a dog?
I think so.
Okay.
Rogue Rocket, I think. Is
Red Rocket sounds way better. Yeah. What's going on, Philly?
Philip DeFranco, welcome back to the Philip DeFranco.
Oh, okay, first off, notice something. He does, because this is somber Philip DeFranco. He does hey, you beautiful bastards. This is like, hey, guys.
He should do a somber, beautiful bastards. Hey, what's up, you beautiful bastards?
It is Friday, March 27th, 2020. My name is Philip DeFranco. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show. And for today's Friday show, I have something a little bit different and special for you.
You're going to be good?
I don't think that's...
You're going to put forth effort, Philly?
Most trusted...
You're going to finally do that news channel you promised months ago?
One of the most trusted experts in this coronavirus pandemic is a guy by the name of Dr. Anthony Fauci. He's an immunologist
We didn't believe in AIDS. Well, he believed in AIDS, but he thought you could catch it like through the air and stuff.
who serves as director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases and is a member of the White House Coronavirus
And is also 5'1", apparently.
Yeah, tiny man.
Little tiny boy.
Task Force. And fantastically, I was able to get a hold of Dr. Fauci.
Wow, what a coincidence that you and all these other YouTubers...
Fantastically?
Whoa. How'd you pull that off?
Mike actually posted a screenshot of this the other day. This coordinated bullshit by YouTube, fine. But what I hate about it is, instead of admitting that, hey, YouTube got me in contact with Dr. Fauci, all of these people, the Lily Singhs, the Philip DeFrancos.
YouTube told me I have to have Dr. Fauci on.
Basically. So amazingly, I was able to get in contact with him. YouTube reached out to you and said, we would like for you to interview Dr. Fauci to get the word out to all the 15-year-olds and Asians that watch your channel.
Oh, thank you.
For 15 minutes to ask some frequently asked questions from you guys, as well as just some things that I've been wondering as I've watched the press conferences. And just really quick before
you don't have the internet? You can't get this information any other way?
into that, I want to thank, in general, our sponsors, but also for this video specifically.
Oh, yeah, no, he works in... He's the only one, by the way. I got to give credit to the other ones. At least they just had them on and did their propaganda. This motherfucker slipped so many live reads in. It's fucking amazing.
Even Lily didn't go fucking shill a sponsor.
But first, I got to tell you about beautiful bastard beard oil.
Conferences. And just really quick before we jump into that, I want to thank, in general, our sponsors, but also for this video specifically, a thank you to Vessi Footwear, who have
yeah, no, right into it.
So wait a second. Wait a fucking second. You know how Crowder makes you mad? This is what makes me mad.
Oh, no, this is infuriating, but it's pretty funny. It's pretty amazing.
So you're doing this thing, this somber thing. People are dying. And instead of going, you know what, this video... I don't need to monetize this video.
Hey guys, seriously.
I don't need to have a foot sponsor on this video.
A lot of people are scared. A lot of people out there right now going through quarantine, getting laid off. I want to tell you about Bowl & Branch sheets.
Look, in this time of need, while all this stuff is happening, I got to talk about MeUndies.
Unfucking believable. It's the best. I love it.
Shilly D, baby.
I love them. I actually love them. I love this. It's just so fucking... He's just so unapologetically like shilling.
Recently committed to donating over 30,000 medical masks to organizations that need them most.
30,000?
Yeah, Royce.
30,000?
That could cover one Los Angeles hospital.
Both the United States and Canada. So your best...
Whoa, 30,000 for the United States and Canada?
Purchases will actually support our healthcare workers in the fight against COVID-19, which I'll talk about more later. But with that
first,
said,
buy shit. We'll talk about that later. Buy shit.
Here is Dr. Fauci.
Dr. Fauci, thank you so much for making the time. I'm just going to kind of jump into it. We have some prepared questions, some questions from our audience as well. Yesterday, you said we need to really be prepared for another cycle, right? Why do you think?
Why wouldn't he? I'm no expert, but why wouldn't he film this interview in the same studio that he's filming the show? Like, I don't understand.
And you know what I think too is, I think they're all doing it from alternate places so that they can seem like,
I think you might
man,
be
we're
right.
all upset by this whole thing, man. All of our operations are on hold. That's what I
Think that
really
we're
think it is.
You're currently seeing this as potentially seasonal.
Well, I mean, I don't want seasonal to be thinking that, well, it's okay.
Yeah,
Because
hey, you know what Dr. Fauci said yesterday during the press conference, and I watched it live. You know what he said? One of the reporters asked him, "Oh, when do you think we'll be able to resume normal activity and the quarantines will break down?" And he said,
Never.
"Okay, you want to know what he said? When there's no more deaths and no more new cases." He look it up. I'm not lying.
What makes this
I'm
disease
not lying.
so special?
You could look it up.
But what makes this disease so special compared to other ones?
He said when there are no new deaths or any new cases. So this disease has to be better than the flu. Because the flu, there's going to be new cases and there's going to be deaths every year. He said we'll be able to resume normal activity when there's no new deaths and when there is no new cases.
Guys, we will give you the Constitution back when nobody ever dies ever.
it's just going to be a plain old seasonal. When I said another cycle, I was saying given the robust nature of the transmissibility and the fact that it is global throughout the world, and we're seeing cases now.
Look, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a highly paid doctor. But when you say global, you don't have to say throughout the world.
It's global throughout the world.
Because global implies it's throughout the world, doctor. Doctor? 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 Doctor?
Doctor.
Doctor?
Doctor.
Doctor? Great movie.
Now, in the southern hemisphere, southern Africa and the southern hemisphere,
Africa.
which are entering in their winter, it is conceivable and maybe likely that they're going to have a big surge.
Somebody says he's wearing the same suit and tie that he wore during the Lily. Yeah.
Because he just banged all these out in one day.
He pumped all these interviews out on the same day. They might have released them on different days, but he pumped them out on the same day.
Through what is their winter and our summer. Once you have circulating virus in the world through our summer, and as we get into the fall, invariably it would come back in the fall.
Is that how season's
So
work?
that's the reason why, even though we handle it, which we will, well, as we get into the warmer months now, I feel we need to be absolutely prepared for another surge as we get into next fall and winter.
I like Surge Cola. I'm not going to lie, but Jolt was better, right?
Not Surge Cola. He means the uptick in the disease.
Is that like Mountain Dew then? Baja Blast?
Guys, I apologize. Royce is really stupid.
I'm just tired.
This to be the same virus that's hitting everyone now. So let's say, obviously, there's no magic wand. That's been a constant thing said. If a vaccine was developed,
Wait. I'm sorry. Look at the camera. He couldn't get a steady. Someone's just holding the
We
camera.
need to
Look
be
at this.
absolutely prepared for another
Not
surge
him.
as we get into next fall and winter.
okay.
Look,
so that's
watch.
the next fall, next winter. Now, would we expect this to be the same virus that's hitting everyone now? So let's say, obviously, there's no magic wand. That's been
Look at the camera.
a constant thing said. If a vaccine was developed, do we believe that it would be something
You're a millionaire, Philly. You can't fucking set up a tripod?
I feel like I'm watching one of those Breakfast Club videos.
Yeah, exactly.
that would affect the next waves?
Yeah, I do. I mean, in vaccinology and in medicine, you
That sounds made up. It's not real. Vaccinology, is that a real thing? At this point, he's just lying to us.
never know for sure. But there is no indication as we do molecular analysis of the virus as it evolves.
So we should just let doctors run the country?
Yeah, very paranoid doctors.
We should let doctors that if it was up to them, we would be locked down for 18 months, run the country and the economy into the ground?
Actually, kind of on preparation, yesterday you talked about in China they're seeing imported
China.
cases, that we need to keep that in mind. What would your recommended strategy be for the United States there?
Well, I think the United States should probably listen to the World Health Organization that has been lying about this since the very, very beginning.
Oh, stop.
And I also think that it's important for the United States to listen to the Surgeon General who said that masks don't work when scientific evidence shows that, of course, masks do work. And now they're telling us that we should wear masks. I think the United States should listen to the CDC that was wholly unprepared for this.
Yes.
Next question.
We'll put the CDC in charge of constitutional law now.
That's a good idea. It's a good idea.
Of an international issue, or I know that yesterday, there was a conversation of people leaving New York, which is, if we want to use the word hotspot, possibly going to Florida, several other states. Do we see this also as a potential domestic issue, more short term?
Short-term domestic, it's true. I mean, the recommendation that was made, and I was in the task force room when the recommendation was discussed, was that about 1 million people were leaving New York because New York was suffering so badly. They were going to Florida. They were going out on Long Island to the Hamptons and places where people who can afford that go.
Like you?
And they were
People
bringing
like
the
you.
infection. And for that reason, it was said that if you were in New York within the last 14 days, when you reach your destination, you have got to essentially sequester yourself in place for a total of 14 days.
No. You don't have, because saying that implies that you have control over yourself and you're going to sequester yourself. The National Guard and the Florida Highway Patrol
It's searching people and pulling them over for having the wrong plates.
at the border. They're at the state border at Georgia and Alabama. They're at the borders and they're searching you when you drive in. And if you are from New York, you are forced to be quarantined.
Checking their papers.
They're checking their papers. This isn't like, hey guys, if if you're getting sick, make sure you stay in the house. That is not what's happening. Putting fucking a rosy tint on it doesn't make what's actually happening okay, Fauci.
And that's what the
fucked,
recommendation
man.
is right now.
Now look, I am absolutely, of course, not a doctor. Dr. Fauci probably knows more about medicine than most people in this, and infectious disease than most people on this planet. I will absolutely concede on that. He does. However, I don't think this motherfucker knows the Constitution or rights, and that's what happens when you get a specialist that's running something. They're a specialist in one field. They're not a specialist in constitutional law.
To prevent the hotspot of New York being spread to the hotspot of other parts of the country.
A few questions from our
So
audience,
you don't get to leave.
just so you know the the different tone change. This one from Morgan. I'm in the high risk category, and I'm already.
A question from our audience, so you know the different tone change. Let me translate what that means. Hey, this question is going to be stupid because it's my stupid fans that are stupid. You stupid.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, it's like, no, this is an audience question. This isn't mine.
Hearing about hospitals lacking supplies and beds for those who need treatment. In the event I get sick and do not have access to care, is there anything I can do for myself at home that would increase my chance of making it through?
Yeah, well, the general rule is if you get sick, get a fever, and think you might have coronavirus disease, you want to go home.
Coronavirus disease? This guy's not a very...
Coronavirus disease.
This guy's like a cartoon doctor.
Contact a physician and get instructions as to what you should do. Let them evaluate you over the phone, perhaps say, we're going to get you tested.
And if you're in Louisville, get a GPS tracker put on your ankle so that you can't leave your house.
Oh, yeah, the only person who's happy about that is Jim Cornette, who hates leaving his house.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm just hanging out here watching old wrestling videos. I got a bunch of old Smoky Mountain videos. He's just watching old Smoky
You're
Mountain.
exposing the virus.
He may not say that. He may say, if you're stable, you're doing well, stay home, just ride it out. Or they may get you tested. Or if it looks like you're not doing well, definitely get you to a facility where you could be taken care of. But the first move
And then they'll do one of those do not resuscitate orders, and you won't just die.
is not to walk into an emergency room, because that's how you infect other people.
So if you get sick, don't go to the
Just
hospital.
go die.
Should we
Stay in your house
be
and die.
avoiding food delivery service right now? Obviously, more people are staying home, even with no contact options. Someone made the food, someone packaged it.
The answer is no, with care. So when you get anything delivered, could be food, somebody touching a doorknob,
Perhaps
wash
drugs, weed, whatever.
your hands literally in an obsessive compulsive way. Just wash your hands as much as you can. Rub down doorknobs with Clorox or alcohol. But I like the idea about pick up food or home delivery. because it takes you out of the environment of
because it takes your freedoms away even more. Because what the last thing that we want in this thing is for you to freely move around the country that you pay so many taxes in to be allowed to do. That's the last thing that we want. We don't want you to feel like a free man. We want you to feel like you've been locked up on house arrest for doing absolutely nothing wrong. I mean, that's what's important, because we're going to let doctors run this country.